The USC graduate student charged in the death of his professor is back to court. We'll hear from a legal expert about a possible insanity defense. Also, the case against two defendants in the killing of a USC graduate student moves forward. Find out what's next. And the Trump administration crackdown on immigrants has a lot of people worried. We'll hear more from local law enforcement and community leaders. Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
The suspect charged in the stabbing death of a USC professor was in a downtown LA courtroom today. Good evening, I'm Kaylee Heck. And I'm Rachel Ramos. Annenberg Media's Cole Sullivan was at today's hearing and is here to show us one strategy the defense is considering.
That's right, Kaylee and Rachel. The possibility of raising a mental state defense means this pretrial phase we're in right now could last more than a year.
What's happening today?
David Jonathan Brown back in court today in downtown Los Angeles. The suspect in the stabbing death of USC professor Bosco Jean hesitated before agreeing to delay his next appearance.
Actually, I think I don't want to.
His court-appointed public defender says he needs more time to look into the sanity of his client. Brown worked with Jean for 3 years in a neuroscience lab on campus before police say he stabbed him to death on the last day of classes in December. But if Brown's lawyer is thinking about an insanity defense, a USC law professor says that's a high burden to prove.
You can be very mentally ill, very crazy, and not criminally insane.
Ellen Sack is an expert of criminal law and a recipient of the MacArthur Foundation's Genius Award. She says there are 3 elements necessary to qualify for an insanity defense.
The original version is called the McNaughton test, which you don't know the nature, quality, or wrongfulness of your act.
Another possibility, arguing Brown isn't mentally capable of standing trial.
Competency to stand trial has nothing to do with the act per se, but has to do whether you can consult with your lawyer with a reasonable degree of rational understanding.
Arguing either defense is fairly unusual. Sachs says only 1% of cases even raise an insanity defense, let alone win it.
Successful insanity, contested insanity pleas, is infinitesimally small.
Now, Brown did eventually agree to delay his court date. He's due back in front of a judge on March 21st. If he's convicted, he faces a maximum sentence of 26 years to life in prison. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Cole. 2 defendants charged with the first-degree murder of USC graduate student Jin Ranji were back in court today. Jonathan Del Carmen and Andrew Garcia are 2 of 4 suspects in the murder case. Today, they were in the downtown criminal courthouse as their attorneys scheduled upcoming court dates. Del Carmen and Garcia are accused of killing Jin Ranji as he walked to his apartment after attending a study session back in July 2014. Surveillance video shows Ji attacked by several people as he walked down the street near campus. All 4 were charged with 1 count of murder. The attorney for Jin Ranji's family was in court today.
They have all been charged for the same thing, first-degree murder. They were all involved, and we believe they are all equally responsible for the murder of Jin Ranji. We definitely hope that this case can move on to trial as soon as possible in an efficient way. The first defendant who was tried, Guerrero, was convicted of first-degree murder and all other counts.
After the hearing, the district attorney would only say that he is, quote, confident in the evidence against the defendants. The suspects are due back in court in March. The case involving Del Carmen and Garcia has been continued for a readiness hearing on March 16th, and a jury trial is scheduled for April 4th. Immigration guidelines just released by the Department of Homeland Security are spreading fear among many undocumented immigrants. Annenberg Media's Grace DeWitt was in Valley Village today, where Eric Garcetti discussed the LAPD's approach to undocumented residents.
We will defend each other, and we will not change the policies of the city of Los Angeles. Not only because it's the correct way to police, the most effective way for us to reduce crime and to build trust, but also because it's the right thing to do.
Today in Valley Village, Mayor Eric Garcetti and the LAPD renewed their commitment to protect rather than deport undocumented residents, despite President Trump's stance on immigration.
Well, our plan has been and will continue to be that we're not the arm for the federal government. and that our role within the community is not to destroy the trust we're trying to build, is trying to regain that trust and make it stronger.
That lack of trust is fueling fear among some San Fernando Valley residents. Community members gathered at today's forum in hope of getting some answers.
There's been so many rumors in the community and so many rumors through social media and so many different conflicting reports. So I just wanted to hear it from them exactly what's going on, and after hearing Major Garcetti, that kind of puts me at ease and then be able to communicate better to our congregation.
Trump has threatened to pull federal funding from sanctuary cities like Los Angeles that refuse to cooperate with his immigration orders, but that hasn't stopped the mayor from standing by his constituents and his police force.
When I'm asked about, quote-unquote sanctuary cities, I say, I guess I'm too pro-police to stop listening to the advice of my police professionals who say we need trust in the communities that we police, not fear.
But even with the mayor's reassurance, building that trust will take time.
Of course, though, you might hear them say, we're not going to support, ICE, raids and things of that nature, but there's always that doubt.
For Annenberg Media, I'm Grace DeWitt.
There are also some students here on campus who are afraid they might be deported.
The possibility of us having to move back to Mexico still exists. It's very possible that my time here might end at any moment, and I just kind of have to be prepared for that.
Rezin Dees feels confident the university will have her back should her status be threatened.
Newly elected Senator Kamala Harris hosted a policy forum on immigration today in LA. Harris spoke with Californians about the contributions immigrants and refugees make to the state's economy. She and community leaders also talked about how President Trump's mass deportation plan is spreading fear throughout the community. Harris released a statement on Trump's plan saying, quote, "If we attack our immigrant community members, our neighbors, our friends, and our colleagues, we will never be the country we aspire to be."
10 Dakota Access Pipeline protesters were arrested after refusing to leave the Standing Rock campsite in North Dakota today, and hundreds more marched out peacefully. They were ordered to clear out by 2 this afternoon because of concerns about flooding. The protest started as a local affair last summer but grew to thousands, with people from all across the country gathering to oppose construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline, which would carry oil through a Native American reservation. There have been legal challenges to the pipeline, but 2 weeks ago, President Trump cleared the way for the project to go through. State and federal authorities told protesters to leave the camp by today or face possible arrest. But that didn't stop some from fighting to stay till the end.
And people want to make that stand for their tribal sovereign, that's their sovereign status, and it's their right, to be on this land, and they want to assert that. So there are people who are going to stay, but they are going to stay in a peaceful, prayerful manner.
Protesters set fire to several tents and wooden structures as part of a Native American leaving ceremony. The Dakota Access Pipeline is expected to be completed within the next few months. Budapest is planning to drop their bid to host the 2024 Olympics, leaving Los Angeles and Paris as the only 2 cities left in the race.
Annenberg Media's international reporter Alicia Wajaja is here with the details. Alicia?
The decision was made by Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, Budapest Mayor István Tarlós, and the Hungarian Olympic Committee, Vistes. A Hungarian political party said they made the decision to avoid any loss of international prestige. If Los Angeles wins, the event could end up costing over $6 billion. The LA 2024 office declined to comment. Terrence Burns, Chief Marketing Officer of the LA 2024 Committee, tweeted his thoughts on Budapest backing out. He said, "Very sad and disappointed for my friends at Go Budapest 2024. This isn't good news for anyone. New reality calls for new thinking." The battle between Los Angeles and Paris is on. Annenberg Media's Ryan Thompson is in Paris to tell us more about how our 2024 Summer Olympics rival feels about the news.
With yet another city biting the dust and dropping their 2024 Olympic bid, Paris could very well be the next Olympic host. On Twitter, reaction from people in Paris was mixed, with some welcoming the economic impact, while others feared the security and congestion burdens. On Twitter, Eli reacted, saying, "I hope that in 2024 the Olympic Games will be in Paris." Katie Cat tweeted, "No, not the Olympic Games in Paris. I want no increase in taxes, no issues with doping, and none of the tours that come with it." Peter Yeo took no side, saying simply Budapest would have been wonderful, someplace less familiar than Paris and LA. 2024 will mark 100 years since France has hosted their last Olympic Games. That was 1924, the Summer Games, right here in Paris. And the city of Paris is working hard to secure the nomination. On February 3rd, they lit up the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Towers in the colors of France and announced their slogan, Made for Sharing. In Paris, for Annenberg Media, I'm Ryan Thompson.
Both Paris and Los Angeles have hosted the Olympic Games twice. Paris hosted the Games in 1900 and in 1924. More recently, Los Angeles hosted the Games in 1932 and then again in 1984. The last time 2 or fewer cities were finalists for Summer Olympics was in 1988, when Seoul beat out Nagoya, Japan. Only London and Athens have hosted the Olympics more than Paris and Los Angeles, at 3 times each. The international Olympic community is expected to select the 2024 host city on September 13th in Lima, Peru. Kaylee and Rachel, back to you.
A local elementary school just got dozens of new laptops. We'll see how they could make a big difference for students.
And floods in a Northern California neighborhood have residents leaving their homes.
The Academy Awards are rolling out the red carpet this weekend. We talked to a woman whose experience matches one of those movies up for an Oscar.
So good to see you guys. So, what's up? Oh, we finally bought a place. Holy cow.
You seriously have enough saved to do that?
We've been putting a little aside each month.
Jeez, at the end of the month, we have nothing left to save.
Yeah, I have no idea where it goes.
Well, you're spending a lot on... Is it good?
Oh, God.
Oh, how is my account overdrawn?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
That's low, that's low. That's low.
Look, he's blushing.
Seriously.
What do you think it would be like to teach? Chances are, you have no idea. Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, proving that greatness can be found in everyday places, and that you don't need to be famous to be unforgettable. That's what it's like to teach.
The Trump administration is lifting federal guidelines that let transgender students use school bathrooms and locker rooms that match their gender identity. Now it will be up to states and school districts to decide which bathrooms transgender students can use. USC has a total of 31 gender-neutral bathrooms on campus, and UCLA has more than 200. That's among the highest of any school in the U.S. A letter released by the Justice and Education Departments about the bathroom policy says anti-bullying safeguards will not be affected.
USG introduced a new proposal to reallocate the stipends for elected and appointed officials. Incoming USG President Austin Dunn says the proposed change would be based on minimum wage. Right now, USG officials get paid a set amount based on their position. The proposal would still give student government workers an untaxed stipend, but it would be based on minimum wage multiplied by the number of hours each week they work. USG officials can't be paid an official hourly rate because they're not considered employees of the university. USG Senator Kate O introduced the proposition. She told Annenberg Media right now there are members who are paid far below the minimum wage and some who aren't paid at all. She thinks this could help make USG more diverse.
Students at one LA public school now have dozens of new laptop computers thanks to 2 tech companies. Annenberg Media's Faye Chen has reaction from students and teachers.
3, 2, 1.
Ascot Avenue Elementary School surprised their students with a $10,000 grant in new technology, including 40 brand new laptops.
It's very exciting for us because I think our students have a somewhat limited idea, and of how technology can impact their education.
Because of limited funds and resources, this Los Angeles public school has only been able to offer basic computer classes. Now, the school is able to upgrade this computer lab and train teachers.
We could really use them to do virtual field trips, to communicate.
Following the announcement, the 4th and 5th grade students worked with the Soft Choice and Lenovo employees to figure out solutions to problems in their communities.
We talked about making a campaign or a website, leave our numbers so they could call the agency so they could remove the graffiti.
For children living in the low-income community, they face significant academic barrier. The school hopes that the digital resources and the computer can be a game changer.
A lot of our students have a compelling story. We do come from a community of high crimes, broken homes. The only way the kids can actually get their feet wet in that combination of creativity, arts, and technology is actually having the resource in front of them.
6 other elementary and middle schools in low-income communities across the country have also been awarded technology grants by the Power Up program. For Annenberg Media, I'm Fei Chen.
Now, Rachel, I'm not going to lie, it was such a nice break from the rain today. It was great to see the sun.
As much as I love the sun, Kaylee, I am a little bit excited about the rain I heard upcoming this weekend because I'm excited to make my homemade soup. Well, let's hear more from our weather anchor, Madeline Ottley.
Good evening, everyone. Nice clear skies we had today. It's a little bit chilly outside now. Currently, we're looking at 65 degrees. Temperatures have been dropping since last week's heat, and we're going to see that continue tomorrow as well. In the mountains, Big Bear has temperatures hovering right around 44 for tomorrow. You should also expect to see some fresh snow coming up this weekend if you're planning to head up. We're seeing cool temperatures as well down at the coast. Malibu 64, Thousand Oaks 66, and we've got a high surf advisory in effect all day tomorrow. We'll take a look now downtown region, our USC home. As we saw today, 66, nice and sunny. That's pretty consistent looking at our week ahead as well. We've got upper 50s moving through, sunshine through Saturday, but then the rain's going to kick in through the rest of the weekend. You know, we can't just get enough of this weekend rain. I don't know what it is, but speaking of rain, a recent storm was all it took to finally tip a Northern California reservoir to overflow. 50,000 San Jose residents were told to leave their homes after flooding from the Anderson Reservoir. It all started Monday. Floodwaters are continuing down the Coyote Creek, causing record high waters of more than 13 feet. Several roads are closed, including Highway 101. Hundreds of residents trapped in their homes had to be rescued by inflatable boats.
Just seeing this surreal moment where everything that I'm used to seeing is covered with water, and it was very eerie and unsettling. And there's something beautiful and romantic about it. Definitely, it's profound and humbling, but nonetheless in a terrifying way. You feel trapped.
But people have been really, really also just like collaborative, and like they're upset, they're channeling that anger into just being really helpful and kind to each other.
Firefighters are concerned about the water's contamination. It could contain sewage and gasoline from sunken cars. Residents are warned to avoid contact and stay away from their homes until further notice. Well, let's just hope they get back soon.
Absolutely. I mean, it seems like we are seeing these crazy weather videos every single day now.
Yeah, well, we are so fortunate to live here where things are mostly sunny and dry. Thank you so much, Maddie. The film Hidden Figures could win as many as 3 Oscars this weekend, including Best Picture. But as Alman Lee reports, the real winners are the next generation of women in tech.
There's no protocol for women attending.
There's no protocol for a man circling the earth either, sir. Every time we have a chance to get ahead, they move the finish line.
The movie Hidden Figures tells the story of the women of color who played a critical part in the space program in the early 1960s.
You know, they're like 20 years ahead of me. And I didn't realize that I was a second-generation pioneer until I started seeing the trailers for that movie and learning more about those women.
Jovita Jenkins has spent more than half of her 70 years in the technology industry. She worked as a software developer for a number of space projects. The women portrayed in the movie might have made it easier for people like Jovita Jenkins, but it was never easy.
I don't care what color woman you are, women have to prove themselves before they're given the next opportunity, where for the men, having potential works. And you're given opportunities to fail along the way, where a woman who fails, and especially a black woman who fails, might not get the next opportunity to succeed.
Women are still underrepresented in the technology field, but it's getting better. For example, in 1970, only 3% of engineers were female. Today, the number is 15%.
There's a double standard. And a lot of women are seeing it and trying to change it now. And I did too. I pushed the glass ceiling up as far as I could get it.
Jenkins attends events like this job fair to encourage women to pursue careers in technology. Now that the world has heard their story, maybe even more women will be inspired to break into what is still a man's world. For Annenberg Media, I'm Almond Lee.
USC Baseball is kicking off their season with an undefeated start.
Yes, and some exciting news for LA Lakers as Magic Johnson named President of Operations. Let's toss it to our sports anchor, Julia Adams.
Thanks, Kaylee and Rachel. It's a jam-packed week for USC sports as two teams face top-ranked opponents. After the break, hear from a USC men's basketball player on how the team is preparing for their final road trip of the season. Then stick around to hear about USC men's tennis return back to its home court.
If you store your guns properly, I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside.
Safer when walking home.
I won't have to tell so many family members. I'm sorry.
I won't hear as many scary stories.
And I won't have to tell my kids. This isn't a drill.
Please.
Please, do it for us.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always, lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Yes, I am.
Move! Give it to him hard!
No, now.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow. I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to ATVN. The USC men's basketball team's final road trip of the regular season begins this Thursday against number 4 Arizona. USC is the only team in the nation to play 3 consecutive games against opponents ranked in the top 6 nationally after playing Oregon and UCLA last week. The team is hoping to avoid their first 3-game losing streak of the season by defeating the Wildcats. However, Pac-12 leading Arizona has won 19 of their last 20 games, including a win against the Trojans 73-66 in January.
We lost to Arizona last time, so just watching our mistakes with that, we had a lot of defensive mistakes and just capitalizing on our offense too. So just learning from our mistakes.
And guys are just more mentally focused, on winning, and I think it's going to be pretty fun. It always is, and I think that we're just going to keep getting mentally ready.
On deck for USC is Arizona State this Sunday. The Trojans are hoping to finish out their last 4 games of conference play strong before heading into the Pac-12 tournament in 2 weeks. The USC men's baseball team is now 4-0 and returns to Dato Field tonight to host Korean professional baseball team, the NC Dinos. USC beat Long Beach State in walk-off fashion last night during the 11th inning. Sports correspondent Angel Vizcarra is live at the exhibition now.
Thanks, Julia. Well, I'm live here at Dato Field, the home of the USC baseball team, where tonight the Trojans will be taking on an opponent, not in the Pac-12, not an out-of-conference opponent, but an opponent from an entirely different country, as tonight USC will be taking on the NC Dinos out of Changwon, South Korea. And before tonight's exhibition matchup, we had the chance to chat with Dan Huss, the coach of the USC baseball team.
We're going to give some guys
an opportunity to lengthen out and see what they can do. And then I think it'll be a really good opportunity for the guys who haven't got a ton of at-bats to play and really get in there and get after it.
And Coach Hubbs is perfectly right. The Trojans are coming off of a big-time homestand here at Dado Field this past weekend, where last night they defeated Long Beach State in extra innings. So definitely don't be surprised if some of the starters for USC take a break tonight and instead some reserve players get some quality playing time against a professional opponent. And one last note before we let you go, we want to let you know that last time the two teams squared off, Yancey Dano's Illinois with a 5-0 victory. So that's it from Dado Field. As the folks in Korea say, Junglee, play ball, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Angel. Now let's take it from Dado to Marks Stadium as the number 12 USC men's tennis team returns home to take on number 33 Cal Poly and number 35 Stanford at home this week. The Trojans are currently 10-2 and have 2 ranked players in singles and 3 ranked double teams. At the top of the list for the Trojans is freshman Brandon Holt, who upgraded to number 27 in the nation in singles. Holt believes the team can easily prevail in their matches this week.
That our team works very well together, like a well-oiled machine. Doing pretty well. I'm pretty confident with how we're doing, mentally, and have a lot of energy and are ready for these matches.
Claimed 5 national championships in the last 8 years. And with their powerhouse performance so far this season, hopefully they can pave the way to another NCAA tournament. Kaylee and Rachel, back to you guys. Thanks, Julia. Coming up, some exciting news from NASA.
And a possible answer to, are we alone in the universe?
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
she doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
Be nice. She's new.
Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened?
Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
A NASA telescope has spotted not just 1, but 7 Earth-sized planets around a single star 40 light-years away. The system is called TRAPPIST-1. Scientists have found so many planets in this area, and they all could have liquid water. This discovery offers the first real opportunity to search for signs of life outside our solar system. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. I'm Kaylee Heck.
And I'm Rachel Ramos. Good night.